What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. With John Wick 4 coming into theaters this past weekend, it really got me in the action mood. So today I'm sharing with you my top 10 favorite action movies of all time. A couple of things before we go into this. I'm including movies on this list that I believe are only action. So not a sci-fi action, not a comic book action, not a action adventure. So comic book movies, Indiana Jones, Avatar, Terminator, movies like that, I'm not including on this list because they do have a subgenre. All 10 of these movies I am including, I believe, are just straight action-packed movies. Let me know your top 10 favorite action movies of all time. Leave a like, definitely helps out. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content, and let's get into this. So at number 10, I have Point Break with Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze. Keanu Reeves goes undercover as a narc, and he tries to take down Patrick Swayze. They call me Bodie. A absolutely fantastic movie that is a little bit cheesy, but it is a little bit of an adventure, but I just love going back and watching this cheesy 90s movie that feels like a cheesy 80s movie. It has such great action, such great characters. There's such a good story in this movie, and you really buy into Keanu Reeves, Johnny Utah, Patrick Swayze plays Bodie, their friendship and their brotherhood, and it really starts to break your heart and pull on your heartstrings when Johnny Utah betrays Bodie, because at the end of the day, he is undercover as like an FBI agent, hits the heartstrings, great action, great cast. Patrick Swayze, Keanu Reeves, you can't do better than that. At number 9, I have RRR. This is a recent Hollywood movie that came out in 2022, and safe to say, it knocked my socks off from start to finish. Go into this movie blind. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Do not watch a trailer. Do not watch anything. Your jaw's going to be dropped to the floor. From the musical numbers they throw in there to this epic, insane action that just makes absolutely no sense. Some of the best action I've seen in the last 10 years. And when I watched this movie last year, I just didn't know what to expect. It's a 3-hour plus long movie, and it just doesn't feel like it. This movie zooms by. It feels like it's an hour and a half. There's several holy shit moments throughout this movie that you are just not going to be expecting. And those holy shit moments are from the action in this movie. The scope is fantastic. These characters are so relatable. You buy into their, again, brotherhood and their friendship. And you really just buy into this story that continues to roll on and on, all topped off with a beautiful score, a fantastic soundtrack. This movie will make you feel all types of things. If you haven't seen RRR, check it out. At number 8, I have Baby Driver, one of the most unique action movies you can ever watch. It literally goes in tandem with the beat of the music. So however the beat of the song is going, the movie's playing along with that. Some of the best car chases you can see on screen. It was some of the most despicable characters and some of the most lovable characters. Edgar Wright knocked it out of the park with Baby Driver. At number 7, I have Casino Royale. You gotta include a Bond movie on this list, and Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie of all time. I never thought that poker could be interesting to watch in a movie, but it's the most intense poker you can ever feel. You're white knuckling your seats, you're gripping it because you're just so nervous as to what James Bond is going to do. Daniel Craig was born to play this role. He's my favorite Bond, and that probably is a hot take. From the badass car chases to the Bond feel, everything about this movie screams my favorite James Bond movie. I love Daniel Craig in this role, and it set up what ended up being a fantastic run as James Bond for him. Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie of all time, and again, poker's intense. Only this movie can do that. At number 6, I have The Predator. You could argue this is a sci-fi action, but when I think of this movie, I think of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, muscled up, gripping their hands together, going after a predator. This is one of the most insane action movies of all time. One of my favorite 1980s movie of all time. Arnold Schwarzenegger back then could do like no wrong. He's big, he's muscly, he's not that good of an actor, but you know he's gonna have those cheesy one-liners. Stick around. Breaking us into the top 5, I have Taken. I will find you, and I will kill you. It's something that's so dark in your child being kidnapped when in a different country, when you already sketched out of her going there. You fly out there, all you have is a little voice recording of good luck, and you're obviously have a unique set of skills, and you're gonna find this dude, and you're gonna kill him. And he goes and puts all the pieces together, and you're putting the pieces along together with him, and he really goes into father mode. Like, I feel like any father whose child was actually kidnapped like this would probably not go to these extreme of measures, but I feel like they'd want to. So this movie really hits hard on that. The action's insane. The hand-to-hand combat is done so well. And Liam Neeson, for someone who's a casual fan of Liam Neeson, this is my favorite movie from him. At number 4, I have Fast 5. Fast and Furious franchise is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and Fast 5 is my favorite of that franchise. The most absurd action movie you can see? Absolutely. They're driving Dodge Chargers and they have a safe and they're just bashing over people the entirety of the movie. Does it seem repetitive? Yes. Is it absolutely amazing? Yes. You have Vin Diesel and The Rock fighting. The two biggest muscle heads at that time fighting. It would be like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger fighting in the 1980s. That's exactly what this is like in the 2000s. Dwayne Johnson is a beautiful addition to the Fast and Furious franchise, being this big threat to Dominic Toretto, who's a big muscly guy. You bring in another big muscly guy, both happen to be bald. This is going to be an epic showdown. To this day, their fight scene is one of my favorite fight scenes of all time. Choreographed so well. Obviously, Dwayne Johnson's bringing his WWE experience, but it's ruthless, it's brutal, and you feel the tension throughout the entirety of this movie, and it makes you feel good. That's what I love about the Fast and Furious movies. They make you smile, they make you laugh. Great car chases, great characters, and overall, a fantastic story with a damn good villain. At number 3, John Wick. He's not the boogeyman. He's in my new Santa Q, the boogeyman. The first John Wick is undeniably my favorite John Wick. I love this story, something so simple. A man who literally has everything taken away from him from his wife and the puppy his wife sent to him after she passed away. He's going to go after and do whatever it takes to bring justice to that scenario, and that's exactly what he does. And what I love most about this movie is the ambiance around John Wick. Everyone is terrified of this dude, and for good reason, because he killed 3 men with a pencil. So the ambiance of John Wick is everything I loved about this movie. I wanted to get to know more of this character. I wanted to see how badass was he, because he gets the hell beat out of him in the beginning of this film. But as the film goes on and progresses, he continues to take down people. He's snapping necks and cashing checks. And Keanu Reeves, while he doesn't say much, it's one of my favorite movies of his. At number 2, Mission Impossible Fallout. From one of the greatest action franchises of all time in the Mission Impossible movies, Mission Impossible Fallout takes everything we love from the Mission Impossible movies and ups the ante on every single level. You bring in a great villain in Henry Cavill. That bathroom fight scene, one of the greatest fight scenes you can ever watch in history. But the stakes are higher in this movie. We don't know if it's going to be the last Mission Impossible movie, and you feel that throughout the entirety of this film. And my favorite part about these movies is these characters, is the team aspect throughout the entirety of Mission Impossible. In Mission Impossible Fallout, there's a huge fallout with Henry Cavill and his mustache. They fall out, and he falls out of a helicopter, so there's multiple fallouts in this film. But at number 1, I have Top Gun Maverick, arguably my favorite movie of all time. And you might think this is an action adventure, this is a drama. To me, this was an action-packed movie about them flying jets in the military. It screams action-packed to me, and that's why it's number 1 on my list. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. From the drama between the characters to the way they continue this legacy sequel, everything about it works for me. You have all these egos together. You take the best of the best from one industry and you put them together, and their egos are clashing throughout the entirety. It's action-packed, great score, and overall it's so intense because they're actually in these jets. They're actually flying them. It feels like you're there with them. The best theater experience you can have. It is my favorite action movie of all time. Let me know your top 10 favorite action movies of all time down below in the comment section. Leave a like for me, hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out any future content. And you guys so much for rocking with me, and I'll see you in the next one.